Now, before we actually hop into the games for this episode, we do need to go over a few things. The first thing being the MLB entry draft, as we are now in the month of June, and that means it's time for the draft. So just a quick little rundown of who we took. We're not going to go too in-depth with these guys because obviously they'll either be getting prospect profiles or we'll be talking about more in upcoming update videos next season. We had the 10th overall pick, and with that 10th overall pick, we selected outfielder blue-chip prospect Lorenzo Ordonez. In the second round, we took a 19-year-old shortstop by the name of Sherwood Mooney. And in the third round, we took a right-handed pitcher, 23 years old, Jason Tupman. Fourth round, another right-handed pitcher, 22 years old, Willie Gomes. Fifth round was 19-year-old shortstop, Steve Abbott. And then to round out our draft in the sixth round, we took Francesco Colon, a 19-year-old right-handed pitcher. There have also been a few roster moves to go over before we actually hop into the game. First one up is Tyler Austin, our first baseman, has been sent down to AAA Sacramento. He was not getting the job done in the major leagues, a 639 OPS through 209 ABs. So he's in AAA, and Connor Joe has been called up to the big leagues. As we know, we saw in the minor league update video recently that he was raking in AAA, so he is now the everyday first baseman at the big league level. Robbie Grossman also has returned from injury, so we needed to make room on the roster for him. And in order to do that, Steven Duggar was sent down to AAA Sacramento. He was the odd man out. Jacoby Jones has earned the spot as a defensive wizard in center field, so Duggar is going to go down to AAA, work on his game a bit, and he will be back eventually. On the pitching side of things, we made another roster move as Josh James. He was a part of the Brandon Belt trade to Houston. We got him and Seth Beer back in return, and Josh James did not get off to the greatest start at the big league level. He was sent down to AAA because in the big leagues, through 23 innings pitched, he allowed 19 walks and 22 runs. So not what you like to see, could not find the strike zone, gave up runs left and right, so he's been sent down to AAA to work on his game. He will be back eventually though, because he is a guy who I would like to have as a key part of my bullpen long term. And in order to take his place, we have called up Carter Capps, who was shoving in AAA as the closer. He led the Pacific Coast League in saves, and now he's hopefully going to continue to be effective for us at the big league level. It's also worth noting stats-wise that Ryan Schimpf, who got off to a decently slow start to the year, has started to pick things back up. He is on a hot streak, and he has a OPS that's bumped up to about 816 right now, as well as 14 home runs, which of course leads the team. Tetsuro Yamada is playing second base every day now with the big league club, 927 OPS, and Franklin Barreto has mainly been playing shortstop because Brandon Crawford has been beyond struggling at the plate. I don't know the exact numbers, but the last time I checked, he had like a 400 OPS. And the last thing, the standings. We are no longer in first place like we were last time that I checked. We are now 33 and 35, fourth place in the NL West, 7.5 games back at a first place. That's no big deal. We did not expect this team to win. This team on paper is nowhere near good enough to win. And with that being said, let's hop straight into the games. Giants off on a road trip taking on the Mets at Citi Field in Flushing, New York. Johnny Cueto having a pretty good season for the Giants, gets the nod. This will be his 14th start of the year. He's got a 3.36 ERA. And opposing him for the Mets will be Corey Oswalt. This will be his 7th season for the Metropolitans. Take a look at the Giants lineup. You got Connor Joe at first base now, Robbie Grossman back in the lineup, and then also the Mets lineup. Start things off bottom half of the first. Keon Broxton's going to strike things out to lead off the ball game. And then Jed Lowry is going to have a pitch run inside on him, plunk him on the thigh. He'll take his base. Next batter up is Jeff McNeil. He grounds out to second base, 4-6-3, inning-ending double play. Onto the bottom of the second now, Cespedes at the dish. He goes down swinging on the changeup. Drop third strike, toss it over to first. Next batter, or two batters later, it's Michael Conforto with 2 outs. He's also going down on the changeup. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Cueto. Bottom half of the third, it's Asdrubal Cabrera. He's going down. They say he went around. 4th strikeout of the game for Cueto. Then with 2 outs, Corey Oswalt. That's strikeout number 5. Onto the top of the 4th now, where the Giants are finally getting themselves up to the plate here with doing something. Buster Posey going back up the gut with a base knock to lead off the top of the 4th. So he's on first. After that, it's Ryan Schimpf, who gives one a charge out the deep center field, but yes, Yoenis Cespedes is going to track it down. And then Carlos Gonzalez, 4-6-3 double play. He grounds into one. We move on to Cueto, who is still dominating. Cespedes at the plate. He's chasing a slider down and away. Strikeout. Then with one out, it's going to be Wilson Ramos, who hits a ball to deep left center field, but Jacoby Jones is so quick that he's able to get to it so fast that he holds the slow Ramos to only a single. And then the next batter up would be Conforto, who grounds into a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. Top of the sixth now, Robbie Grossman's going to poke one over the head of the shortstop Lowry for a single. So he's on first with one out. Buster Posey, another base knock for him. That's already his third of the game. And then it's first and second with one out for Ryan Schimpf, who's going to go opposite way, but Jed Lowry, 6-4-3 double play, and the Mets get out of the jam. Top of the seventh now, Tatsuto Yamada absolutely tattoos a ball off the left field fence, and that's going to be an easy double for the fleet-footed Yamada. He's on second. That extends his hitting streak to 11 games. After that, it's Connor Joe at the plate. He's going to poke one into right field, and it's first and third for the Mets. Yamada thought about going home, but he dives back into third. That would end Corey Oswalt's day for the Mets. Adam Libator comes on the lefty out of the bullpen. Runners on the corners, one out. Brandon Crawford goes opposite way, somehow gets that past Cabrera at third, and the Giants strike first, 1-0. Bottom half of the seventh now, runner on first. Jeff McNeil grounds at the second. Yamada to Tamada to Crawford over to Joe for the double play. It's the top of the ninth, and the Giants are still up 1-0, so the Mets trying to keep it at 1-0. Bring on Seth Lugo out of the pen. First batter he's facing is Brandon Crawford. He's going to go opposite way into left field for a base knock. After that, it's Johnny Cueto. The pitcher stays in because he's going to get a chance at the complete game shutout. So he blazed down a bunt. Alonso tries to go for the double play, but they end up getting nobody. Everybody's safe, first and second. Then Robbie Grossman pokes a ball into left field for an opposite way single, but Cueto is going to be thrown out trying to advance. So it's runners on the corners for Buster Posey, who is 4 for 4 with 4 singles. And then he comes to the plate and absolutely demolishes a pitch into the upper deck in left field. Buster Posey, the rare power flare right there. A 3-run shot, and it extends the Giants' lead to 4-0, breaks this game wide open. As we take another look at that in slow motion in that upper deck, second deck in Citi Field. Move on to the bottom of the ninth. Cueto trying to get the complete game shutout. Pete Alonso sneaks one past third and short into left for a base knock. After that, it'll be Juan Lagares, who came on as a defensive replacement earlier, and he's going to also single, so it's first and second for the Mets. Nobody out, brings up Keon Broxton, grounds over to first. Joe makes the diving stop, flips over to the covering Cueto. Second and third, one out now for Jeff McNeil, or Jed Lowry hits a ball to second. They try to throw home, but he has no chance of getting that. So then the tying runs at the plate and Jeff McNeil, but he grounds out to Joe at first, and it's going to be a double play to end the game. So no shutout for Cueto, but he still gets the complete game. 4-1 victory for the San Francisco Giants over the New York Mets. A beautifully pitched game by the veteran Johnny Cueto. He had his changeup working all day long, and obviously gets player of the game honors. He obviously got the complete game, only gave up 5 hits, struck out 8, only the 1 earned run in the 9th inning, and didn't walk anybody. Buster Posey, an absolutely insane day at the plate. He was 4 for 4 with 4 singles heading into that 9th inning AB, and then he demolishes a pitch into the upper deck in left field. So he goes 5 for 5, 4 singles, a 3-run shot. Huge day for Buster Posey offensively, as he basically carries this Giants team to a win. Giants now head down south to take on the Marlins in Miami, who are sitting at an abysmal 24-45 on the season. They're sending out the lefty Caleb Smith. This will be his 17th, or 15th rather, start of the season, while Jeff Samardzija, also making his 5th start. The Shark is going up against the Marlins. And the Giants lineup, take a look at it. You got Yamada in the 2 or in the 4 hole, and then the Marlins lineup as well. So bottom half of the first, Nicky Lopez, the former Royals farmhand, is going to poke one opposite way into left field for a base knock. So he's on first. Next batter up is Miguel Rojas. Pitch gets away from Posey, and Lopez moves up to second on the wild pitch. So it's now runner on second with nobody out. Rojas hits a ball to deep left center field. Garcia gives chase, but he cannot get to it in time. So it's going to be second and third. Nobody scores as they weren't sure if he was going to be able to catch it. Brian Anderson comes to the plate. He's got a 7-game hitting streak going, and well, now it's 8 as he launches that one into the left field seats. Long gone. Brian Anderson, a 3-run shot, and the Marlins jump out to an early 3-0 lead here in Miami. Top half of the second now as Garcia comes to the plate, goes opposite way into right field. That's going to be a base knock here with 1 out, and then Franklin Barreto jumps on the first pitch he sees and hits a laser over the left field fence. You can kiss that ball goodbye. 2-run shot, Franklin Barreto, and this game is a 1-run game just like that. 5th shot of the year for Barreto. Top of the third now as Yamada, the immediate backflip, ding, off the foul pole on the left field line. Yamada with another home run on the season, his 5th of the year, ties this game at 3. Bottom half of the third inning now. Marlins back at the plate. Brian Anderson hits a ball into left field for a base knock. Next batter up is Matt Davidson, who draws a walk, so it's first and second for the Marlins. Brings up Jorge Alfaro, the catcher. He's going to hit a ball into left field, and it's going to get past Robbie Grossman, who took an odd route to the ball. Going to go all the way to the wall. 1 run will come in to score. RBI double for Alfaro makes it 4-3 Marlins. And then Peter O'Brien hits a ball back up the middle. 2 runs are going to come in to score, and it's now a 6-3 Miami lead. Still weren't done in the bottom of the third, but Austin Dean lines into a double play as Joe makes the snag and tags the runner diving back. And then Derek Fisher, who the Marlins got in the Rule 5 draft in the previous offseason, goes down looking on a knuckle curve. So top of the 6th now, Yamada back at the plate. He's going down the left field line. Easy 2-bagger for the fleet-footed Yamada. So he's on second with nobody out to bring up Carlos Gonzalez, who looks like he gets all of this one to dead center field, but it's going to be caught right at the wall by the center fielder Fisher. Yamada does tag up to third, and then Connor Joe would drive him in with a ground out over to second base. So it's now a 6-4 game. As we move on to the bottom half of the 6th, where Tanner Scott comes in, gets himself into a bit of a jam, first and second, 2 outs, as a long fly ball off the bat of Matt Davidson's going to go to the wall, and Carlos Gonzalez makes the catch, runs into the wall, Aaron Rowan style, and hangs onto it. Carter Capps then on for the bottom of the 7th, and he would give up a double to Jorge Alfaro. He has not given up a run so far since coming up to the big leagues, Capps has. So we can see if he's going to be able to keep that streak going here as Alfaro's on second. Peter O'Brien then hits a ball to deep right field. Cargo's going to get it in quickly to the cutoff man, but the runner does tag up to third base. And then Austin Dean would poke a ball over the head of the infield that was shifted in, and it's going to be a 7-4 ball game now. Kevin McCarthy comes on out of the pen for the Marlins in a 7-4 game. Ryan Schimpf connects on a pitch opposite way. It was on the other side of the plate, reaches out and just pulverizes it into the left field seats. It's way out of here, as usual. The 16th home run of the season for Ryan Schimpf. Drew Steckenrider then comes on to get the save in the top of the 9th. Leury Garcia with a line drive to deep center field. Once again caught at the track. Not enough to get out of here. Jacoby Jones then comes on to pinch hit for the Giants with 2 outs. He hits a ball into left field. It'll land in front of the left fielder for a base knock, so he's on first. And then an 0-2 count to Robbie Grossman. Looks like he could have gotten all of it. Possibly tied the game with 1 swing. Yet again dies out at the track, as that is going to be the ball game. The Miami Marlins come away with the win over the San Francisco Giants here at home. Giants just could not get out. Jorge Alfaro was 3 for 3 on the day with 3 doubles. Brian Anderson also 2 for 4 with the 3-run shot in the first inning. Miguel Rojas was 3 for 5 as well. Giants side of things, Barreto was 2 for 3, had the home run and a double. Yamada had a home run and a double. And then Ryan Schimpf was 2 for 4 with a home run. Giants back in Cali, but not quite San Fran. They're in San Diego to take on the Padres. They're sending out their ace in Chris Paddock. This will be his 17th start of the year, having a very good year, and he undoubtedly showed up to the game swagged out in his cowboy hat. Derek Rodriguez, this will be his 18th start. Not the greatest year for him, but he is making the start nonetheless. Giants, there's the lineup, take a look at it. Padres, there's their lineup, take a look at it, led by Manny Machado. Start things off bottom half of the second inning. Franmil Reyes is going to hit a ball into right field for a base knock to start off the inning. Then with one out, it brings up Fernando Tatis Jr. Hits a ball to second base. Yamada cannot field it cleanly, so it's first and second with one out for Van Gessen, or Austin Hedges, as Hedgie draws himself a walk, so it's bases juiced for Van Gessen as he lines out to third base. And then their final hope is the pitcher. NL baseball, baby! Woo! As Chris Paddock comes to the plate and predictably strikes out on 3 pitches, and Rodriguez gets out of the jam. Bottom of the third now, Manny Machado hits a ball down the right field line, just barely stays fair. With a 2-out hitting for Machado, gets himself into second base, and then the Franimal at the plate hits a ball down the right field line, and that is going to be a line drive, easily scores Machado. 1-0 Padres is the lead. Ryan Schimpf comes to the plate in the top of the fourth. Looks like he puts a decent charge in one, but it dies out at the wall. It's put away for out number 1. And then Yamada comes up with 2 outs, also puts a charge into a ball to deep left field, but once again dies at the wall. Bottom of the 5th, Travis Jankowski at the plate. The speedy Jankowski draws himself a walk, and then Posey gets caught sleeping behind home plate, does not throw it in time. Jankowski swipes second. After that, Manny Machado hits a ball past Barreto. Looked like he should have caught it at shortstop, but it gets past him, and it's going to be enough to score the run. Throw came home, so Machado goes to second, but then Barreto makes up for it with a diving stop. Fire over to first to retire the not-so-fast Franmil Reyes. Tyler Beede then on for the bottom of the 6th. He would stay on for one batter in the 7th as he strikes out Paddock with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Tanner Scott then comes on to face a couple of lefties. First being Travis Jankowski, who whiffs on the down-and-away slider for the second out of the inning, but then Eric Hosmer does not go according to plan as he gets a base knock. He's going to turn it into a double. Line drive down the right field line, so he's on second with 2 outs. Next batter up is Manny Machado. Gets a slider against the lefty pitcher that hangs out over the plate, and well, that ball's gone. 2-run shot, Manny Machado. It's a 4-0 Padres lead just like that. We will now move on to the top of the 9th, where Craig Stammen comes on for the Friars. In a 4-0 game, Robbie Grossman then bloops one over the glove of Tatis at shortstop into left field for a single. Move things on 2 outs in the inning. Carlos Gonzalez is also going to bloop a ball into left field for a single. First and second now, 2 outs. Jose Leclerc comes out looking for the save as it's now a save opportunity. And Tetsudo Yamada gets an inside pitch, stupidly swings at it, pops it up to the pitcher himself, and that's the ball game as the San Diego Padres win this game over the San Francisco Giants, their NL West foe. Chris Paddock was electric on the mound, shut down the Giants lineup all day long, only gave up 1 hit, struck out 6 through 8, only walked 1, no earned runs. Chris Paddock, filthy in real life, filthy in the video game. And then Manny Machado just basically put the team on his back, went 3 for 4 on the day. He had a double. He drove in 3 runs. He had the 2-run shot in this 4-0 win for the Friars over the Giants. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the San Francisco Giants franchise. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I am saying Denzel Curry is incapable of making a bad song.